FreeMMOStation.com.
Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skyland, and today we're going to be on the PS4. That's right, guys. We're actually going to be playing the free-to-play PS4 game Star Trek Online. Now, this is also on PC, but we're going to be talking about the new expansion, at least that's for PS4. Now, this has been out for just a little bit on PC, but we're going to be talking about the PS4 version of this game and the PS4 version of this expansion called Agents of Yesterday. Now, I'm not a huge Star Trek savant. You know, I don't know everything about the universe or this video game, but I can show you some stuffs and talk about some things, okay? So if you want to do that, well, strap in. Let's do this. So let's talk about this expansion, okay? So yeah, this is kind of like the highlight. This is the reason why we're talking about this. It's here on PS4 now, which is pretty nice. It's a little bit after the fact, after it's come out on PC by, what is it, almost a year or something? It's been a while, but it's cool that we are finally getting it. And, well, let's just go over the bullet points of what this game has to offer. So we get a new faction. It's the TOS Faction here. It's a new faction featuring the Starfleet characters and story set in the 23rd century. Now, I have not played the game previously to this expansion on PS4, but it seems like there was this, like, really interesting, like, film grain over everything. It kind of made it seem all oldie and stuff. And I do have to say that through like the different sort of little missions that I did, it's really more of a big tutorial. But from what I've done and the people I've talked to and what I've seen, it seems like the whole game just kind of has a permeation of cheese, man. It's super cheesy. But if you love the Star Trek universes, timelines, and all that good stuff, then you're gonna have a lot of fun with this game. So yeah, you get it's set in the 23rd century, or characters and stories set in the 23rd century, beginning in 2270 for those of you that care. Now, I guess technically it's not perfectly canon, but it really seems like it's very close to the source material, and they even have some of the original actors reprising their roles here for their characters, and this sounds some pretty good stuff, man. Pretty good stuff. Now, similar to the Romulan Republic, TOS characters will join the other factions for shared endgame content, following the Agents of Yesterday's tutorial arc, which is what I did. 23rd century missions will take place in a separated instance of sector space and feature a 23rd century version of Earth space dock as a faction hub. Playable characters available to TOS faction are Andorian, Human, Tellarite, and Vulcan. Yep, so it's pretty cool. Now, the missions, Agents of Yesterday, will be set shortly after the timeline of the original series, featuring locations and characters and starships from that time period exactly. So yeah, I feel like so far when I've played, it definitely felt like, whoa, like I remember watching my grandpa watch the TV series and everything, and like this game, it just seems like it's totally fitting from what I remember. Now, missions unique to the TOS faction include Agents of Yesterday story arc, and we got the Taurian Affair, there's Shadow of Cestus, Painful Omens, Return to Babel, a whole lot of stuff that, honestly, I don't really know. I'm not a giant fan myself personally. This is a game that is very niche because you do need to be a fan, but I have to say, even though I'm coming from this from, basically as an outsider, I still do have a little bit of schema, and especially, because of the modern movies, and there have been a couple of Star Trek, stuffs that I knows about. But, I don't know, it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. Cheesy, but it's okay. Now, the new faction agnostic missions, we got a couple of missions, and they seem very specific. Like, since they're just listing out there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, under 10? About 10 or a little over 10 missions here. These play out kind of like little mini campaigns. They're kind of episodic, and they feel kind of like episodes, and I feel like that's how the design was really designed. The mechanics of the game, this game as a whole was kind of designed episodically, at least especially for these missions, and that's just how it feels so far from what I've experienced. So if you want to just jump in and have little contained storylines with a little bit of continuity, maybe potentially, for the most part, it's very easily digestible. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so Temporal Operative Specialization. Really, honestly, I think we're getting into territory that I just don't know anything about. But anyways, Temporal Operative, a primary specialization that also introduces new bridge officers' abilities, which is, there's lots of different abilities with these classes, which just goes over my head, guys. Anyways, bridge officer abilities introduce a new game feature called Entropy, which is either applied or used when temporal abilities are used on enemies. So you do have unique abilities. It's kind of magical in ways, it's a little bit fantastical. I mean, it's still sci-fi, but you know what I mean. It's a little bit extra. It's a little bit above and beyond. And so, yeah, we'll get some new stuffs here. Pretty cool. Temporal Defense Initiative, reputation, a lot of words, dude. A new reputation for all factions. The reputation includes 2 new space queues, Days of Doom and the Battle of Procyon 5, and 1 new ground queue. Minor instabilities, temporal marks, will also be available from the Badlands Battle Zone. Pretty neat stuff here. Temporal Agent Recruitment, an event similar to the Delta Recruitment in which new TOS characters will be able to earn special rewards. All characters creating during the first 6 weeks following the expansion launch are eligible to participate in the Temporal Agent Recruitment event. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Voice acting and character appearances, this is also a bullet point, but I just want to say, most of it was super good, but there were some that it almost seemed like they just kind of took clips from the show, maybe? I don't know, that's something I noticed. I'm not sure. Confirmed voice actors, we got a lot of people. We got Christopher Doohan, Matt Winston, Vic Mignogna, okay, Joseph Gatt, and Chase Masterson. Spock will make an appearance in the expansion as well, but repurposed lines? Oh, okay, so repurposed lines. So he's already said those things before, okay. All right, additional TOS characters. Other characters from the original series will appear without voice acting. I did notice that. There's only one part. I didn't know if it was going to happen more or if it was just a glitch, but there was one part where a guy just kind of said, like, one little line, but then everything else wasn't voice acted. And so far, from when I've played, everything was voice acted, so that was a little surprising. So yeah, I guess some parts, there are going to be characters, and there might be events that, you know, reference the original series, but it's not going to be full production, like some characters. And some have dialogue snippets. Okay, so yeah, that's what I encountered, including Enterprise crew members, and it just lists a bunch of crew members that just kind of briefly appear. So that's where there's like sort of this conversation to be had about how canonical is this show. Technically, it doesn't actually fit in with the movie universes, because that's the true canon, the TV show and the movies. But I don't know, the game seems to be doing a really good job at tying itself in together. So if you want to have headcanon, I feel like this is really appropriate, actually. Okay, what is Kelvin timeline? What is this? Joseph Gatt portrays 0718, an augmented science officer from the USS Enterprise of the Kelvin timeline. I know, there's timelines and everything. It's ridiculous. As depicted in Star Trek Into Darkness. Okay, dang, dude, we're going into there. Okay, Lieutenant 0718 appears alongside other elements from that universe, including the reimagined Constitution class and the Klingon D4 class. This is the first appearance of the elements from the rebooted Star Trek movies in-game since the red matter capacitor, which, guys, I'm just saying a bunch of stuff, and it's seriously just mind-bogglingly going over my head. But that's okay. And also, we got some new ships, apparently. So Agents of Yesterday features many new vessels. Sadly, I couldn't show them off here right now, but anyways, yeah. So we got temporal vessels, and they're era-appropriate, apparently, 23rd century ships. The original Constitution class model has been rebuilt from scratch to fit the original studio model more closely, and several TOS era vessels will receive Tier 6 counterparts, T6 counterparts, which will be able to use the TOS era skin. So that's pretty cool. I like it. And, all right, we got a list of ships here. We got a bunch of new ships. We got a Class F shuttle. We have a Pioneer class, Utility Cruiser, Constitution class, Daedalus class temporal science. Holy crap, dude. They've added a lot of new ships. And I guess a lot of you guys really like these ships that play this game. A lot of really cool ships. I know I myself got gifted, like, every ship from every faction except for TOS. So it's pretty cool. All right. Okay. Yeah, and of course, with this update, we're gonna get a lot of the systems that you probably already know on PC that change a couple of the mechanics here. You know, just a general update stuff. But overall, I think it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. This kind of game generally does really focus on the niche of people who are interested in the original universe, you know, the actual canon universe and stories and peoples and characters and stuff. You know, the TV show, the movies. It's people who are fans of that want to play this game. Its mechanics overall and you know, its presentation's really cheesy, and there's other, you know, sci-fi shit. There's PlanetSide 2. You know, there's other things that you could go and do for the visceral mechanics. Yeah, but if you like Star Trek, this MMO seems to have a lot in store for you. And then with this new update, which focuses so heavily on that nostalgia factor, yeah, dude, this just seems like it's meant for the fans. The whole game is meant for the fans, but this update specifically really is driving that point home. So that's all I have to say about the update here. If I missed a bunch of stuff, which I know I did, please let us know in the comments below. First impressions are like a community event, okay? You come, you watch the video, but we know you guys are keyboard warriors in the comments below, and that's a good thing, actually. Please let us know what this game truly has in store for us. It's just the first impressions. I can only do so much, and I believe in you. I believe in you guys. It's up to you guys. I'm not just lazy. Thanks for watching, guys. I actually did have fun with my time in Star Trek. I played for about a couple hours. It's pretty neat stuff, man. Pretty neat stuff. I can say on a closing note, though, that playing with a controller was actually pretty fine. Star Trek Online isn't too complicated or convoluted of an MMO, and graphically, I think generally it kind of just is a more, you know, simple / cheesy type of game. I say cheese a lot, so say cheese, and it's just how it is. It's just the aesthetic. It might be the appeal, and overall it kind of works work. There was some frame stutters on PS4, there definitely was, and I was recording with a capture card, so, you know, there shouldn't have been any interference from that. Overall, actually, experience was pretty okay. I think this is for Star Trek fans, and if you are, you're probably gonna like the game. Let us know what you think in the comments below, guys. Hope you had fun. My name's Skylent with FreeMMOStation today. Hope you guys like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And stay tuned for more. Who knows? News on MMOs that happen to be free. Here at FreeMMOStation, guys. And I'll see you again next time.
Thanks for coming. I have some good news to share. First off, Fleet promoted me to Admiral. I'll be working with Deep Space Command on several exploration initiatives there. Our ship's going to need a new captain. I've talked it over with Command, and they agree with my recommendation. You. Congratulations, my friend. I know the ship will be in good hands once I'm away. Don't think you've gotten rid of me, though. I plan on keeping you plenty busy out there.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. Every generation, Starfleet officers hear the call of duty. Hidden dangers lurk in space, and the threat of Klingon attack has made even the most stout-hearted reconsider their choice to travel throughout the stars. A last-ditch effort to find a common ground could end this conflict, but there are many who oppose peace. If the Federation is to be saved from chaos, new officers will need to take up the task of restoring peace. Live long and prosper, Lieutenant.